this is Linda Cohn from ESPN, and you're listening to the ML Sports Platter.
The ML Sports Platter is back with you all over the major platforms like Spotify, Google, Apple, Stitcher, Deezer, you name it. Download, subscribe, leave feedback, and a 5-star review. You can hit me on Twitter as well, at Mike L. Sports. And we are part of the Brawl Network, so go ahead and follow at Network Brawl as well. And brought to you by Liverpool Physical Therapy, Barks and Rec Doggy Daycare, and Bryant and Stratton College for every and in life. Bryant and Stratton College classes are beginning soon. Make sure you go to bryantstratton.edu. It's a terrific time to be a Bobcat. Academics, athletics, and excellence. They just added a couple of new programs academically, including a nursing program, so a lot of options there at Bryant and Stratton College. 2 tremendous locations if you're in and around Central New York, James Street in the city and in Liverpool. Bryant and Stratton College is a proud ML Sports Platter title sponsor. I am thrilled to bring on the show and bring him back, actually. He is the owner and founder of BallNine, the terrific baseball platform at ball9.com. We're going to talk some Yankees, the start of baseball season, what's going on at BallNine, the latest, the work by Kevin Kernan and Rocco and all the guys there just doing an unbelievable job. Baseball insider Chris Vitali joins us at Chris Vitali on Twitter. Hey, Chris, how are you?
Doing all right, Mike. How are you, sir?
I'm good, man. I'm good. So here we are, right? As we record this, Aaron Judge side soreness. Yankees can't get people in again on when they have unbelievable opportunities with guys on base. The defense is up and down. It's so predictable, isn't it? Every single year, it's so predictable with this. It's the same team, Chris.
It's like Groundhog Day, man. It really is. I mean, who was surprised? Honestly, who was surprised by this? I mean, it's just the brand of baseball that they run out there. I mean, it's not like you can have DJ, hit 4 times in the lineup. Yeah, I mean, it would be nice.
Yeah.
But, oh, my God. I mean, hopefully it is just I just don't believe the Yankees about injuries ever. So, I'm expecting, a June return or something. But.
Yeah, Gerrit Cole, obviously, it's unbelievable because for the longest time, the Yankees, the one missing thing was, they need an ace, they need an ace. And they get the ace, and then opening day was a real letdown. I mean, obviously, they left tons of guys on base, as we know. Should have won that game easily, and I'm not the opening day baseball victory, parade guy, but it's kind of a big deal. They could have, slapped Toronto in the face a little bit, a team that's an up-and-coming team. A lot of people like that Toronto ball club. But here's the thing. Opening day or not, when Gerrit Cole's on the mound and you have that many people on base, you've got to take care of his starts, much like the Mets when they blew it with DeGrom already. When your ace gives you those performances and your offense is able to get guys on base, Chris, you got to cash in.
Well, I mean, I agree with you completely. I mean, but you expect it with DeGrom. I mean, you just know. I mean, that's going to happen. I mean, look at what the Mets did in his start. They pull him after 77, and they blow it.
Well.
And he was throwing gas. He was fine. There was nothing wrong with DeGrom, and they just pulled him out, and look what happened. Cole, you know what? He hung a slider. It happens. But there is no reason to leave a small village on the base paths
no doubt.
And not just punch one through and just get a run in. I mean, we're just seeing more of the same, like you said, and it's disheartening. I mean, the game that's on now, we watched the Yankees manufacture a run. It's baseball, man. It's baseball season. But
so one thing that has driven me crazy the last few years with these guys is, and I know it might be unfair to compare any Yankee team post 2001 to that era, to the Joe Torre, or 2003 for that matter, to that Joe Torre era of dominance and excellence, 96 to 2003, the 4 World Series in 5 years, on and on it goes. All the pennants, all the division wins, all the 100-win seasons, the Hall of Famers, Mo Jeter, and all the rest.
Oh, yeah.
So it's obviously it's unfair to say, well, Gleyber Torres isn't. Well, a lot of people aren't, Derek Jeter or whomever. But one trait that team had, one trait that winners have, trait that World Series winners of the last several years have had, or even pennant winners, or teams that have gone deeper, for that matter, in the postseason than the Yankees, they pick each other up. And that's the thing. I'm not sure. I don't know who to believe in. Like, I don't know. Is there a guy here who has the combination of, he's a winner and he's going to pick somebody up other than LeMahieu?
I mean, that's a great question, man.
Right?
Again, when you say Jeter, I mean, what do people used to call him? Mr. Intangible. And that's the thing. I mean, that's what doesn't come through on a spreadsheet. And that's when you're building a team to basically be a fantasy team, that's what you're missing. And, my thing is this. I don't know if they have a guy like that because, DJ he's a quiet guy. He's a different kind of guy. He's not going to get in anybody's face. He's not going to, smash a water cooler like Ball O'Neill. He's not going to, get fired up like Tino. He's not, he's just a very calm, reserved guy who goes out there and goes about his business and does his thing better than almost anybody in the league. Now, as far as the Yankees, I mean, yes, I know they want to say Judge is a leader, and maybe he is. Because you know what? That monster screaming at me in the clubhouse, damn right I'd go out there and first I'd have to change my underwear, but then I'd go out there and, do whatever the hell I had to do to win. But I don't see it. I just don't see it on this team. I really don't see that. I think Cole might be a guy like that, but, he's a pitcher.
Yeah, he doesn't play every day. I mean, the thing is like when 4 or 5 of those guys, I mean, you could have, for example, Bernie, Posada, Jeter, and let's say O'Neill have off nights, right? But then Luis Sojo goes 2 for 4.
Exactly.
Or David Justice picked up in an acquisition for Jake Westbrook, homers, 3-run homer and delivers. Or, I mean, of course. Yeah.
That's the thing with that team. I mean, you have to understand. I mean, there's a reason that people called that team possibly the best team since the 27 Yankees. It's because, I mean, it was just so incredibly well put together, chemistry-wise, baseball-wise, and it just had the perfect group and the perfect guy to lead them, calmly and Torrey. I don't see it. I just don't see it now. I think this brand of baseball, it's like, okay, Yankees might win about 99 this year, but they're not going to get past, the divisional round or even the championship round. If they don't have, if you can't hit, you're not going to win. Their pitching so far has been pretty good. I mean, I'm actually impressed with, even Tyone today. I mean, he gave up the 2 solo shots, but he looked good, considering he really hasn't pitched in a couple of years. So, I mean, he's a reclamation project. I'm not exactly expecting him to come out and, be Roger Clemens. But, I mean, he showed me something, and I think he'll be a good pitcher, and the bullpen's been great. And, the starters have been pretty good. So it's, I don't know, man. If you can't hit and you can't, that home run or nothing approach is not built for October, especially when you're going up against the best pitchers in baseball. God forbid you see the Dodgers rotation. What are they going to do? You have to, you have to get on base. You have to steal bases. I mean, and it's, I like the fact that the Yankees have been a little more aggressive on the bases. Not much, but I mean, what was it, opening day that Talkman stole second and third?
Yep.
I think you're going to, I think you're going to see a little more of that this year. Than in the last couple, just because, Kevin Kernan said something really, really good to me, that base running is the new steroids, because if you can run the bases, you can just do so much more than the other team. You put the pressure on these guys that don't know how to play defense, these catchers that don't know how to throw. These guys are always out of position. So I'd like to see the base running a little more. I don't know, man. I'm trying to figure the team out. It's only been 6 games?
Yeah, I mean,
7?
Yeah, but again, it's funny how after 1 or 2 games, you're just like, if you had any optimism, if you had any excitement, if you had any fire, you're like, yeah, no, why did I buy in? Why did I do this? Oh, because baseball's starting. I'm supposed to be excited because it's the spring season. I mean, if you're realistic and not a millennial Twitter psycho, Yankee Twitter psycho, and you know who I'm talking about. There's piles of them out there who just defend everything. They defend Sanchez. They defend Stanton. You know, where are my Stanton haters? Now I'll tell you where the Stanton haters are when he's striking out left and right on opening day with guys on base. I'll tell you when he continues to miss a slider 2 feet outside the strike zone. Like the Stanton haters, I mean, there's a reason why we can't stand watching Giancarlo Stanton at bat. The guy can't stay healthy consistently. I don't care what happened in the postseason last year. He has to show it now. He has one postseason and one regular season as a Yankee in terms of staying healthy and producing. Well, guess what? Now it's time to combine that. You're making $30 million as a DH. Like, the thing is, dude, after one game opening day or for a week, yeah, it's only a small sample size in a 162-game season, but a lot of things in baseball are in mid-season form, Chris, in the first week. Mike Trout's in mid-season form. The Yankees, they're made the same way. They're in mid-season form. Like, the Dodgers are in mid-season form, right? Like, these teams that are in rebuild mode are in mid-season form. The Mets are in mid-season form with the way they're losing games. I mean, it's a small sample size, but here it is. Hit it, man. This is it right here. This is who they are. They're a regular season team built with right-handed power hitting, no balance, lack of versatility, pitching up and down probably all year, bullpen up and down all year. They'll win the division and then get their asses kicked in the playoffs.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, the division was basically handed to them on a silver platter. So I don't think that's really a great, I mean, that's not necessarily a great thing. It's because if they only have to play at about 75% all year to win the division or just even get into the playoffs, because I am not sold that Toronto is gonna fall apart. I think Toronto might actually be the real deal.
Yeah,
if
they're
they can
really
get the
good.
pitching.
Yeah.
If they can get their enough pitching, I think they're going to be great. But I just you can't play in kind of we can cruise to the playoffs because you're going to get there and you're going to get smoked by these teams that do the little things right and that play baseball the right way. And it's just not a thing where, I mean, you know what? I know, like you said, small sample size, but I do believe it's kind of what everybody expected. I mean, the Dodgers are playing, like you said, as expected. The Pirates stink. We knew that was going to happen. The Yankees are just striking out constantly and leaving guys on base. Yes. So I don't really buy into the whole overreaction because it's a small sample size thing. I think if you've watched baseball long enough, you kind of know what to expect. And, all of a sudden in July, the Yankees are aren't going to start, we're going to hit line drive doubles, and we're going to, move guys station to station, and we're going to, do the little things to win. That's not who this team is, man. So, I hope I'm wrong, but I just don't see them getting past some of these other teams. Like, definitely. I think it's the Dodgers league to lose again.
Yeah, yeah. It's wild because the American League as well, when you look around, I mean, you not only nailed it by saying that they were, basically fed the division on a silver platter. I think the Blue Jays are really good too. I do. But the Rays, Charlie Morton's gone. He's in Atlanta. Blake Snell gets traded to San Diego. The Indians ship out everybody. They ship out the face of the franchise and Lindor and Carrasco to the Mets. And I know Carrasco's out. He'll be back later on, but Cleveland's down. Red Sox, Orioles, rebuild mode. Rays lose 2 pitchers. The West is weak. Can't trust the Angels. I mean, the American League, it goes beyond the division. The American League is so weak. And again, it's another wide open opportunity for the Yankees.
I agree with you, and I don't know if they're really going to have a lot of competition in the American League. But again, in a short series, obviously, as you know, anything can happen. As much as it pains me to say it, I don't think the Astros are going to go away. I would love to see the Angels actually do something. I really would. I would love to see Trout get into the postseason.
Yeah.
I would love to see that because, the A's are going to stink. Again, because, Moneyball. But, Billy Beane is to blame for all of this that we're complaining about right now. And, so I don't mind if the A's stink. That's fine. That's fine by me. Let them suffer. But the Central's terrible. I thought maybe the White Sox, but I'm telling you, that injury to Jimenez that could be a backbreaker for him. I mean, because I thought he was due to have a real breakout year. They still have Luis Robert. I mean, the White Sox have a pretty solid team. Decent pitching. They picked up Hendricks. But I'm not really scared of anyone in the Central if I'm a Yankee fan. I mean, I'd like to think that the Yankees could outslug the White Sox. But, what's going to happen? Some of these National League teams, man, and like I said, the Dodgers, I mean, the Padres, Tatis is down, but the Padres still have a pretty solid lineup and one hell of a pitching staff. So, to me, I'm seeing like the real World Series might be Padres-Dodgers in the NLCS. Kind of like when it was Yankees-Red Sox and Aaron Boone hit that damn home run. To me, that was a real World Series. And I think to a lot of baseball fans. But, I don't know, man. I just don't... I don't know who else... I don't know. I don't know who else in the American League can actually take the Yankees on and beat them, even in a 5-7 game series.
Okay, so you went from them falling short in the playoffs like me to thinking that they actually can have playoff success?
Yeah, can you edit that out? No, I'm kidding. I'm thinking about it, and I'm just kind of running through it in my head, and I'm like, look, I don't think the talent is there to beat them in a short series, but it wouldn't surprise me if they lost.
Yeah.
Let me phrase it that way. I think that makes a little more sense.
The fair point is that in the playoffs they get exposed, and they will get exposed again, and that's why I didn't pick them to go to the World Series, because in short series, starting pitching, their bullpen will be taxed because they lack starting pitching. Something will happen with injuries. They can't hit with runners in scoring position. All the things in the postseason that teams do, even in the analytical world. The teams that have won the World Series in the analytical world. Look what Mookie Betts did on the bases. Okay, that was
of course.
Yeah,
of
right.
Course.
That was a huge part of why the Dodgers won the World Series. So those are the things that they will not be able to do in the playoffs. And you know what? I don't care about saying it over and over and over again, because guess what? Then prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. Prove us wrong that you can actually do it. We're talking some baseball with Chris Vitali, the BallNine founder and owner, of course, at Chris Vitali on Twitter. Must follow, and BallNine, some unbelievable content. Before the end of the interview, we'll highlight some things, Chris, that you've been working on lately, and the staff, just terrific stuff on the platform. I can't get enough, of course. Do you have a problem with Domingo Germán on the roster of the Yankees?
No, but only because it's par for the course. And, you see this quite a bit where, the guys serve their suspensions and they come back. And if that's how Major League Baseball deals with it, that's how they deal with it. I'm not thrilled with them, it's, I believe in second chances. That's kind of what this world is based on. And, if he learned his lesson and he's, what he did was scummy. And and if I were to call him a scumbag while I was at a game, that would be fine. But, if he was treated differently than anyone else who, was accused of domestic violence, then I'd have an issue with it. But it's, you see, even Chapman on the same team, and Osuna, and, it goes deeper than that. I don't have a problem with it because that's their decision, and, that's how they choose to handle it. But I'm not running out to buy his jersey anytime soon. I'll tell you that.
When you look at the rotation, and we know Gerrit Cole leads the way, and then there's question marks obviously across the board. They're running and hoping that damaged goods will do something in Tyone and Kluber. We don't know if Germán can hold up the entire season. We don't know if Severino will come back and give them anything. He's had a very up and down Yankee tenure. Jordan Montgomery looked good in his first start, but again, wild card there, question mark, past injury. So what I'm asking you is outside of Cole, the question is which guy do you feel confident in having an impact in the rotation all year?
I'm going to go a little bit outside of the box, and I'm going to go with Gumby, man. I really think he's set to.
I'm with you.
I mean, just watching him, and I know he was working with Pettit, a bit. I just think he's got the makeup. He's got the right pitches. He's not he's a pitcher. He's not just going up there throwing max effort.
Yep, he attacks.
He attacks. He attacks the zone. He's got good stuff. He's got a brand new elbow. I honestly think he's going to be the guy to watch. And, like I said, if you get 150 innings out of Gleyber, you get 150 innings out of Tyone, that's great. I wouldn't be surprised if they baby them a little bit, trying to keep them healthy for October, because that's just par for the course anyway. But I don't know. I'm all in on Gumby this year, bro. I really am. I just think he's the guy.
So we've talked about the frustration of watching the team. It's the same thing. It's the same, the DNA, the same problems. And inside those problems, you have players who all do the same thing. They all swing for the fences. Most of them hit from the right side. Most of them can't really field great either. All the things we've talked about, all these guys do the same thing. So you've got Giancarlo Stanton. You've got Judge to a degree, but again, injuries too with some of these guys are. Judge for sure already. You've got Aaron Hicks, who, as we record this, his last at bat, I saw he was hitting a whopping 118. Out of all,
that's with an RBI single in this game.
Exactly. Gary Sanchez, who, again, good start, but he's been exposed in the same Sanchez type ways, and people think he's going to have a great year. I don't think that could be possible. He's going to have to prove me wrong too. So, with all that being said, what Yankee for you currently is the most frustrating guy to watch?
Ooh, that's a good question. Probably Sanchez. But again, I think this is his last shot. This is his year. He has to perform this year. So I think if we're just going on the season so far, I'm going with Gleyber. I just think he's just not getting it done on either side of the ball. And, we all know how much talent the kid has, but I don't know. I still don't know if he's a long-term option at shortstop. I'm not comfortable with watching him, his range, or he likes to bobble. Sometimes it takes too much time to get rid of the ball, and he's not hitting.
Right.
And that's like, it's, if he costs your team a run in the field, at least pick yourself up and make something happen at the plate. And he's just not doing it, man. So I'd say, because Gary, pleasant surprise so far with his start. He hasn't looked awful behind the plate. So, and like I said, this is a make or break year. And I don't even know if it's just for his Yankee career. This might be, he goes out there, he hits like 130 with 25 bombs, and he can't catch the ball. That might be it. It might be over. So, he might, wind up being a backup somewhere. So, I think Sanchez is going to have a good year. I don't know why. I've been saying it. I think Stanton's eventually going to come around. He's going to have a good year. I hope I'm not wrong. If he can stay healthy, and that's obviously the big if. But to answer your question completely honestly, Gleyber has been the most frustrating to me.
And that's another to me as a GM that's very simple to fix. It's very easy to see with this overloaded right-handed power unit, and you've got to get better defensively. And if Torres doesn't fit there, and you tried it and it didn't work, folks, this is not hard. Move Torres back to second, pick up a shortstop in the offseason. I know we went back and forth on Twitter a little bit, and we weren't alone. There was another person in that group arguing back and forth, but I've always made a very strong play for an Andrelton Simmons, a guy who can hit good enough, but you're fielding that position, a very important position, at shortstop. The double play tandem would be different if Torres, doesn't have to lead it, for example, and he can have a better shortstop to help him. Slide DJ over to first base. He can platoon third if need be. And Luke Voit, I guess, if he's healthy, you could DH him. I understand Stanton, if he gets a day off or whatever, flip-flop him. But, see, that's the thing, is that's one side of it. The other side of it is maybe Cashman doesn't do anything because Giancarlo Stanton's on this roster. He's blocking the roster. You can't, if you, he's a $30 million DH, you got to play Stanton. Then if you're going to play Voit, I mean, what are you going to do? Like, they play all these guys, and they're all the same player, And so it's so frustrating.
That's the thing. Yeah, that's definitely the thing. And even when they traded for Stanton, I was like, we already have one of those.
Right, we have Judge.
And Aaron Judge,
Yeah, right.
I've always liked Stanton, even with his time in Florida, Miami, whatever you want to call him. And he just, I don't know, man. It seems like he, like everybody else, changed their approach, and they're swinging off of their ass, and they're just swinging for the fences every damn time. And, because Stan, when he came up, he was hitting for average. He had power. I don't know. I don't know how much of that is organizational, and that's the approach that they're taking, that it's all or nothing, but it's not working.
Well, but the shortstop thing drives me crazy.
That drives me up a friggin' wall.
Because that's an easy fix. It really is. Go get a good defender. Go get a good defender.
The easy fix is you bring Didi in for a year. You got a lefty bat.
Yeah, should have never let him go.
Nope. You keep him until next year, and then you know what? If you want to make a play for Story, who is my favorite out of all the the soon-to-be free agent shortstops. But Seager's going to be available.
Right.
But I love Story. I mean, do you move a Gleyber or something like that for a Story? I would in a heartbeat, because the guy does everything well. He fields, he hits, he runs. He's got a high baseball IQ. So he would be my guy, my top guy to bring in. But who the hell knows when Cashman is pinching pennies and has to go get Rougned Odor, which is a baffling move to me. But I don't know.
Let's close with some BallNine stuff for my listeners. There's been some unbelievable stuff recently. I know the Behind the Dish, the newest edition came out. The spitballing stuff is great. Kevin's stuff is great. You guys added some writers. Just kind of take it away here. Have the stage and let my listeners know what you've been working on and what's new. And you guys have some killer gear too.
Thanks, man. It's been we're working on a lot of things. Obviously, we're trying to get the podcast started now. Yourself included. We brought in Mike Scudero. We have about 2 or 3 more that we're trying to bring in, so we can have a nice kind of balance of podcasts. We did bring in a guy named Kevin Zerwinski, who's unbelievable. He's doing stories. He's just calling guys and getting stories from, anybody from a guy who never made the majors but hit the home run cycle in Tyrone Horn to, he told me, the other night, he calls me, I just got off the phone with Dave Steep. So, he likes, so he's great. Kevin, obviously, Kernan, what can you say? And, Rocco, obviously, is, he's doing a spitballing thing, which is awesome to me. It's just, the thing is, we have fun with it, and, we like to talk to these guys, and these guys love it because, they want to tell their stories, and nobody's telling them. And we want to kind of be like one-stop shopping where you can just look up a player and hear their story. So that's, it's a pleasure to be able to do that. We have a couple other things in the works that I can't explicitly talk about, but a couple things that I think you're gonna be shocked if we can pull it off. So it's, everything's going well, man. I mean, I'll tell you, from something I started, we're 11 months old. We will be 1 year on Cinco de Mayo. So if you told me a year ago that we're doing this kind of stuff, I'd have thought you're crazy, man. I really would have. But a lot of hard work, a lot of, and a great crew of people around me. They do all the work. I just try to make it look nice, I just like kind of try to like orchestrate it. But it's fantastic, and I'm so happy that you're involved, and I'm happy that that it's going well, and it's still new. But I mean, when you see some of the people that actually, whether it's on Twitter or whether it's wherever, I mean, some of the people that actually follow it and that read it and that really enjoy it and give us feedback on it, there's some heavy hitters, man. We have a lot of broadcasters, we have a lot of scouts, a lot of coaches, a lot of ex-players that all love this stuff, and I couldn't be more pleased. I really couldn't.
Yeah, well, it's fantastic. Baseball fans everywhere, please go visit BallNine.com. Check out all the great content, the articles, the video segments, and shop the gear as well. You'll love some of the shirts that they have, and the El Tiante mug and the Manfred pillow, and man, it's just terrific over at BallNine.com. Yeah, man, yeah, no doubt about it. Chris Vitali, the owner and founder of Ball9, at Chris Vitali on Twitter. Thanks, bud. Appreciate it, man.
You got it, my friend. Let's go Yankees.
The ML Sports Platter, all over the major platforms: Google, Apple, Stitcher, Deezer, Spotify. Download, subscribe, leave feedback, and a 5-star review. We are brought to you by Brian Conboy of Mass Mutual New York State. Tax-efficient retirement planning with Brian Conboy. Make sure you go ahead and visit advisors.massmutual.com and find Brian on LinkedIn and on Facebook. He does great work. We're super pumped that we joined up with Brian to secure our financial future. Brian Conboy, Mass Mutual, New York State, is a proud ML Sports Platter sponsor. A big tip of the cap thank you as well to our good friends at Sit Means Sit Syracuse, Barks and Rec Doggy Daycare, Ken's Auto Detailing, and Rosie's Corner. Pizza, wings, pasta, hot and cold subs, and more. You name it, get it at Rosie's if you're in and around Central New York. I would recommend, by the way, their Gold Fever and Garlic Parm wings. They are to die for. Fish Friday. The Reubens are amazing. Had a pastrami sub there last week. Get on over to Rosie's Corner. Route 11 in Brewerton. Rosie's Corner is on Facebook and Instagram and will deliver via Grubhub as well. Big time thanks to Chris Vitali from Ball9. I'm Mike Lindsley. Hit me on Twitter at Mike L Sports, the ML Sports Platter, part of the Brawl Network. As I always tell you, enjoy the games.